Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Health and Wellness with Emma Mentel. Today is Thursday the 23rd of May 2024 and it is Thursday afternoon where I live in South Africa. We've actually sort of just had the exact of the full moon in Sagittarius, and I always like to do a video and a short update around these significant events. Energy is quite amplified, messages can be quite powerful and potent, and perhaps if you are listening to this recording or watching this video, it will inspire you to make some changes, some positive lifestyle and health changes towards well-being and just living a healthier life in general going forward. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Please share any of the videos that you find helpful and useful. And thank you for your comments. So with today's full moon, I thought I wanted to touch on a few of the points recently. Last week, I did a long reset fast with my group of fasting participants. And I did a 72-hour fast. It was really quite an easy fast for me. I tracked blood glucose throughout. And I spoke to my group of fasting support participants about the choices that we make. And that sort of inner critical voice that we all have that gets in the way of us making healthy choices, and looking at that the distraction that can cause for us, especially when we're trying to change our habits, and how we deal with that, obviously, when we're trying to make long-term changes to our health and well-being is such an important step that we can take, because it means that we have to challenge that inner critic. We have to stand up against him or her and say, no, I don't believe this anymore about myself. We have to challenge those outdated beliefs, and we have to challenge those patterns that sometimes have been in place for decades or a lifetime. And how do we do that? When we're starting to implement changes like introducing fasting or removing certain things from our diet that might be harmful to our health, when we're starting to exercise, when we're starting to meditate, when we're starting to do all these things that might be quite a big change compared to what we were doing before, there'll always be, or there seems to be, this part of us that will resist that will challenge us and say, oh, this is going to be really hard, you're going to fail, are you really going to do it, how believable are you this time, what about just one piece of cake, who's going to know? And I personally find that inner critic, or those intrusive thoughts, to be really quite hard to manage sometimes. One has to really find such a strong will, not so much a matter of willpower, but your why has to be really big. And I often talk about that in my fasting courses as well. What is your biggest why? Why do you want to make changes? And when it comes to something like a full moon, because the energy is so amplified, because there is such a strong sense of presence with that potency of the full moon, it can be a powerful time to review our intentions, to review the reasons, to review some of these choices that we make. So I thought I would use today's recording to just mention how you can perhaps use today's full moon and the next day or two, while this energy is available to us, to recommit to yourself, to recommit to those changes and those habits that you would like to make going forward, to recommit to releasing and letting go of those habits and patterns that have kept you stuck, that have sabotaged your efforts, that have kept you feeling not good enough and unworthy of all the breakthroughs that you've been trying so hard to get to. So this full moon in Sagittarius can represent the end of a situation. I also think of it as the end of a cycle, and that I think really supports this idea of this cycle maybe of self-destructive habits, self-destructive thoughts, self-destructive patterns. Those foods that you keep on buying and then feeling bad when you've eaten them, every time you were going to go for a walk and then didn't go, every time you wanted to drink another glass of water but then didn't, every time you wanted to show up for yourself and didn't. Or it could be something much bigger. End of a situation could be, months or maybe years of you trying to release some old grief, some guilt, some unforgiveness. So this can play out in so many layers. So perhaps wherever you are in the world, write down the things that you want to let go of, release. Which situations, which habits would you like to complete at this full moon, and really declare this as the end of the situation that feels heavy, that perhaps feels like a burden. It might feel like a heavy weight that you've been carrying around for some time. Sit with your journal or a piece of paper and just write those things down. If names come up for you, situations, memories, habits, write those all down. You can always use some kind of a ritual later and make a fire, and with great presence and mindfulness, throw that paper in the fire as a symbol of you releasing all of that, showing that you are taking the step towards your own personal transformation, to release and let go of that which has been keeping you stuck. So as we are ending we're ending the cycle or the situation, we're declaring the completion of something, we can also then see this as the first step to becoming clearer, to get more clarity about a situation, or to get more clarity about our intentions, or where we want to go, how we want to feel. For people in my fasting courses, I always say, what is your biggest why? How do you want to feel? Start to create a vision of that version of yourself that you would like to step into. So with both of these elements, we can end something, and then we can get more clarity about what it is we would like to go forward with. What do you want to do next? It could be as part of your health, it could be as part of your career, it could be as part of a personal dream. It could just be new habits that you would like to incorporate more regularly. And deciding perhaps what makes your heart sing, what feels like a deep nourishment to you, what feels like it nourishes your soul. Those essential nutrients that feel uplifting are important aspects to include, if not daily, then at least regularly or weekly. So it's hard sometimes, especially with so many different challenging energies around. So many of us have been feeling really fatigued, really sort of washed out and exhausted, to find something that feels hopeful or that feels energizing. To find the energy to even do something can sometimes feel incredibly hard. So remember to focus on the good nutrients, the water, the hydration, the minerals, all the things that I've spoken about in so many of my videos. Sometimes even a fast can help me to feel more energized. It gives my body a time to reset. It doesn't actually make me more tired. Ironically, it makes me feel more energized. That ice bath, that walk in the morning and a few deep breaths, going out in nature, noticing the first few rays of the sun. What makes your heart sing? Is it music? Is it dancing? Is it creativity? Draw on those things that feel supportive to you as part of your well-being and your healing journey. And then really use this full moon to let go of and release another layer of old habits that you feel are getting in the way of you embodying this version of yourself that you are going towards. If you're not there yet, don't give up. It is a journey, and every step that you take will help you to eventually get there. It doesn't have to be a race, but just by being consistent can ultimately start to pay off in different ways. Maybe not always the number on a scale, maybe not always a dress size smaller, but just over time starting to make small commitments to yourself that feel supportive of your own personal journey. All my information is here on my YouTube channel. You can still sign up for my current online fasting course, which is 8 weeks of introducing you to shorter fasts, cleaning up your diet, starting to reset, and then developing some kind of fitness with fasting, where you will feel more comfortable and more confident with longer fasts. So have a look on my social media. Otherwise, send me an email or comment on here and I can send you the information. It is such a miracle medicine. I think it has been one of the most profound and significant changes that I have made in terms of my health, introducing fasting about 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago. Some of the changes have been very slow to show, but the measures that I've made and blood test results have really been so encouraging. So I look forward to sharing with you more about that. I thought I would also draw a card for the viewers, and I'll do it from the Divine Abundance pack by Tasha Silver. Full moon message or inspiration for those of you who are looking for something to guide your process and your journaling and and whatever you want to focus on. So I'm shuffling the cards, and I'm just thinking about what it is that I am asking guidance and clarity about, which is for the viewers a full moon message that is supportive for your health and well-being journey as a group. Shuffling well and thinking about what it is that we should know. And the card is surrender. So the surrender card says, sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest: to stop trying to control the whole universe. And perhaps this surrender card and this death is what we're letting go of. I mentioned that you should make a list in your journal or on a piece of paper of those habits and those situations that you would like to end. That can be represented as death or dying. So it's dying of the old to invite in the new. So sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. Sometimes it's really hard to let go of those parts of ourselves that have been in our life for such a long time. It's so familiar to us. It feels like we can't be without it, and yet it's keeping us stuck. So stop trying to control the universe. Take the necessary steps. Be mindful about your process. Be kind and loving towards yourself. Show gratitude towards your body. Show loving kindness to this magnificent gift of health every day. And go out wherever you are in the world to look at the full moon, to take a few deep breaths, to put your feet on the ground or on the grass or on the soil, and just to feel deeply held by the earth and everything that she holds for us as well, her deep wisdom and her very generous support. I hope you feel appreciated on this full moon. I hope you have found something hopeful in today's recording. The surrender card is so beautiful. It's got the bird, somebody letting go and giving her the wings to fly. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Please subscribe, please share, and please comment if this was helpful.